What is going on, everybody? If you are here because you're deciding between the Delta 2 and the Delta 3 Plus, I got you covered in this review. I'm going to go over some of the things that I think the Delta 3 Plus just does a little bit better, and then you'll have to weigh whether you think that's worth it or not, because they both essentially will do the same job. This just does it better. In addition, it's a UPS system, so that's an uninterrupted power supply. So one of the first differences that I think it's nice is that the Delta 3 Plus has, let me grab my phone here, it has the super fast charging 2.0. So if I plug my phone in, I got to turn on the USB here. If I plug my phone in here, I'm gonna get that blue indicator that I'm doing UPS, or not UPS, I'm doing the super fast charging. If I plug it in here and I turn this on, I'm only gonna get the green charging, which is like, I don't know, 20% slower or something like that. So although this says 100 watts USB-C, if you want to charge a MacBook or something like that, you can do that. But for charging smaller devices, this does it better. The 140 watt power supply does it better. They're also slightly better on the USB-A as well, slightly better charge on them. So as far as the output of both of these, you can do 1800 watts of stable output. So if I plug in here and I turn my AC on, so I have an air fryer here, which will come on. We'll go ahead and get our air fryer running, and you'll be able to see on the screen here, I'll move it up closer. So we're doing about 900 watts, and if I want to get up to the rated 1800 running watts, I can also plug in an electric kettle up here. I'll show you, got the electric kettle plugged in there. We'll go ahead and turn that on. I mean, I'm even exceeding that. I'm at 2100. I mean, that's crazy. So you can monitor all of this from the app. So I'll load into the app here in a minute, but you can also charge from these at the same time. I can try to crank this up even further. I got another 40 watt appliance I could plug in here. So, we're running a ton of power through this guy. So there we go. Back up over 2100 again. Let's pull up the EcoFlow app. So in the app here, you'll get prompted with a loading screen, and I can click on my Delta 3 Plus. The app is pretty similar in capability. So if I want to turn off the USBs, I can turn off the USBs. If I want to turn off the AC power, I can turn off the AC power. No problem at all. You can do the same thing from the Delta, but let's go ahead and plug the same three things in. If you wanted to do sustained, like high wattage test, first of all, the difference on this is it's a little less convenient because your plugs are in the back. So you see you have your plugs in the back, and we'll get to the solar is another big difference. This has up to 1,000 watts of solar. This is only about 500 or so. So we can plug in here. We can plug in here, and let's get all of our stuff rocking and rolling, and then I'll flip it around so you can see the screen. As far as the plugs go, you get one extra of these ports, and the way that they're configured is also a little bit better too, because they're rotated. So if you have those big brick chargers, okay, so if our cords are long enough to support this, I might have to leave this like this. So let's turn on the air fryer. Right now we're at 1100 watts. So it's 1185 there. Let's turn on our air fryer and see where we go. Yeah, we're at 1796. So that's really where it's supposed to be at, that 1800 running watts. Now we can try to turn off or on X Boost with this. So I'll go into the Delta 2 here. I'll go to settings. Let's see. Let's turn off X Boost. There we go. And now we're up to 2100. So it can do just about the same. For whatever reason, I find that turning X Boost off actually helps you to get a little bit higher wattage out of your power stations. The other major difference is going to be charging speed. So you can run certain appliances while it's charging, but it actually reduces your output wattage. You can't do as much when you're charging. This charging speed is faster. We can go up to 1500 watts on the input and charge this in under an hour. This will charge in about 70 minutes. So it's a slight difference on the charging speed there. This is just a better configuration here. So if you have those outlets those big like block chargers, one can point that way, one can point that way, and one could point down. It's just a better configuration of the outlets. So they're both about the same weight. I'll show you let me show you the charging port on the back of the Delta 3 Plus so you can kind of see the difference here. It is pretty important. The 1000 watts of solar, I mean, it's double solar. So if you had enough solar, which you probably don't, but you know, if you're going to get it in the future, it will be helpful to have the additional solar port here in the back. So it also has the expansion port on the back side. So it's just a much cleaner setup. So you see you have two solar inputs. There's your 120 and there's your extra battery port. The Delta 2 can also support an extra battery. It's over here. So a very similar connection style. I mean, they're very, very similarly classed power stations. Both of them have 1000 watt hours. You can do almost everything. You know, like I said, they're very, very, very similarly rated. This has the UPS function, which functions in about 10 milliseconds. So if you wanted to plug this in and use it as an uninterrupted power supply, you can for either a fridge, freezer, if you're expecting power outages. You can plug it into a computer. There's so many options for both of these in the app. I mean, definitely the Delta 3 Plus is an improvement. You know, whether the cost of that improvement for you makes, you know, a big difference. My favorite improvement is the fast charge on the phone. I like to charge my phone super fast. I think that's a huge win for the Delta 3 Plus. I like the configuration of the power outlets. I like how it looks. It's also much quieter. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I tell you right now, it is significantly quieter while charging and while using it. It's much quieter. I mean, that's another big, you know, thing. If you're going to keep it in your tent or something like that, it doesn't make almost any noise at all. So, well, hopefully this helps you make a decision. Like I said, either way though, you can't go wrong with either one. They're both my favorite. You know, the Delta 2 is just, it fits so many applications, whether it's home battery backup, whether it's, you know, camping or just fun, you know, running a moon bounce or something off of this, or cooking or fans. I mean, you name it, refrigerators, you can run it all with this thing with, you know, 2000 watts basically of running stable current is crazy.